Good morning and welcome to Live at the Legislature, where every week we talk to your state representatives about what's happening at the state capitol. Like many news and talk programs, we are now virtual, limiting the person-to-person contact we have for social distancing and to limit the spread of the COVID-19. Today, we're lucky to have House Majority Leader Della Belatti as our guest. Della, good morning.
Good morning, James, and good morning to the Olelo staff for putting this together so quickly.
Yes, it's really great of them to do this. With the 2020 legislature in suspension right now, what are the representatives up to? What are they doing?
We have been extremely busy. I know that representatives are fielding phone calls. They're on Facebook talking to constituents. They're helping to connect the community, sewing masks, making sure that kids get fed, kupuna are talked to. There's lots going on.
Well, everyone, of course, is very concerned about the coronavirus here in Hawaii and across the country. And yesterday there was a House Select Committee on Economic and Financial Preparedness that you are a member of. What happened during that committee? Can you tell us?
So that was the second meeting of that committee, James. And it's really important because what the House has done is convened a group of industry, community leaders, along with representatives to begin to lay the foundation and the framework for recovery. We know we are in it for the long haul. We understand that we still have to deal with the public health crisis. But as everyone has experienced in the community, we have seen so many layoffs, disruptions in the normal life and normal economy of our state. So what we're beginning to do in the House is really identify what the framework is going to be, how we move forward. We're going to be identifying short and long-term plans, and we're going to be monitoring the situation. Things are developing on such a rapid basis that we want to make sure that community members and industry leaders and government are working together and in sync.
Yes, it is. It's changing every day. Well, when is the third meeting and what is the topic of discussion for that meeting?
So the next meeting will be next Monday, 10 a.m. We are just like this program, using Zoom and other kind of platforms to make sure that it can be publicly broadcast. The House is very concerned that we want to make sure that our operations are transparent. But in this day and age of now social distancing, we have to adapt, and that's what we're doing. In terms of agenda, we're going to, I think, be looking at different sectors. Yesterday's meeting, we kind of focused on the social safety net. My hope is that we're going to be taking up different topics. I know people are very concerned out there about health insurance, so we might be looking into that. There's so much to do. And in addition, we have such great resources. Our chairperson, Peter Ho with Bank of Hawaii, and our other co-chair, Speaker Saiki, are really helping to develop the agenda. I will also like to add that, members of the House are weighing in. Like I said, they're working behind the scenes, connecting community, but we also have members who are tracking down questions, interacting where it's appropriate. We have to give the executive department and agencies room to do the immediate work that they need to do. But we are already starting to look down the road. What is the different kinds of policy questions that we're going to have to answer? We're going to want to prevent a pandemic like this from disrupting our community again in the future. What are we going to need to do to lay the groundwork to ensure that we can recover from this as well as make our community more resilient?
Wow, that's an ambitious agenda. Most of the committees we see on TV, where we're seeing press conferences and committee hearings all the time, but this one is very different than the others because it's not focused just on health, but the recovery effort. Who are these committee members? How are they qualified to talk on this subject and lead us into the future of the economy after this is gone?
So that's a great question. When the House set up this committee and when Speaker Saiki selected the members of the committee, we were really looking for the community leaders in all sectors. So not only do we have the financial sector, but we have the nonprofits represented on the committee with Lisa Maruyama. We have members from all the different chambers of commerce. We just added, I believe, the Kona Chamber of Commerce. Speaker Saiki has that discretion to do that. I will also say that we had the community there through folks like Micah Kane, who was also just added to the committee recently. He heads a Hawaii Community Foundation. And you know what, James? It's really going to be a partnership. we're going to need, and we're already seeing the public and the private community step up. We're really proud that Mike Akane and HCF has taken the lead and started the Hawaii Resiliency Fund. That is going to be so critical because in some ways what we learned, as Representative Nakamura said at yesterday's meeting, what we learned from the Kauai flood instance is that sometimes government cannot be as nimble. So that's when the private community steps in with the private donations. And we're seeing that. It's so amazing. All over our community, we are seeing individual members, organizations, nonprofits step up, and we're doing it. I'm proud that we're following really tenets of aloha. There's a great community organization out there, Islander Institute, that has started this hashtag spread aloha, not COVID. There's lots that we can do. Government will be there. We are there. We're preparing as soon as we are called back into session. And that's something that Senate President and Speaker will be able to do. I don't anticipate that it's going to happen soon because of the stay-at-home work orders that we have from the governor. But when we are called back into session, the legislature and the House will be ready.
Wow. Yeah, we are different than other places. I've seen other communities that support each other, but we do have aloha in Hawaii, and it's great to see. How can residents stay in touch with their representatives during this time when we're not at the Capitol?
That's another good question. So the Capitol is closed, but the legislature is still working. You can continue to contact your representatives at their phones at the Capitol. You can also contact them by email. Just go to capitol.hawaii.gov, and then you can pull up our legislators and their contact information. But the other way to really stay connected is that so many of the House members are on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, get on. It's been a good way to stay connected. There's Instagram. There's all kinds of ways to stay connected. And, if you're not the Facebook kind of person, call your representatives, send in your email. I know a lot of representatives are also doing email blasts to their communities. So, you have to get connected to your representative, and they are definitely a trusted source for information that you can call, email, direct message, text, all kinds of ways to get in touch with representatives.
And when do you think the legislative session might resume? Do we have any clue at this point, or what's it look like?
I cannot predict that. I think we really are, as a community, still in the place where we are looking at the health aspects of this. So that's going to be a determination. I love what on the national level, Dr. Fauci is saying. The virus is going to determine the timeline. We are preparing. I want to give a shout out to General Hara and the executive team on all the islands that are looking for alternative care sites, that are working day in and day out with our hospital association. They really are preparing for that peak. We don't want to see it, but we do want to anticipate that there are going to be people who will really need serious care in the hospitals, and we're preparing for that time. I think the stay-at-home orders, people stay at home, stay healthy, stay safe, is so important, because if we can stop the virus from spreading, when those people who are going to be sick get really acute and need the help that they need, they will get that. When that is over, when we are able to beat that, that's when I think we'll be able to come back into session. But that is going to be the call of the Senate President and the House Speaker.
Okay, I think we're out of time, but as always, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and we'll be back again next week with another edition of Live at the Legislature.
Aloha, thank you.
What are you doing? We have to go. I'm gonna be late for work.
It's Tuesday morning. I gotta record live at the Legislature on Alelo. Senate and House leadership discussing what's happening at the state capitol.
So just watch it on the news tonight. Come on, let's go.
Hey, this is like getting the news before it's news. If only I could get this remote to work.
There. Can we go now?
No DVR? No problem. Watch Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. on Channel 49.